Hey y'all, it's Sai, and today I figured I'd give y'all a very long, very overdue um, update. I recently went to my computer and I found a couple of other updates that I made and just never uploaded, so I'll probably go ahead and throw those on there after this one. But yeah, it's been a second. Things have definitely shifted in a whole lot of ways. Um, so really quick life things. I graduated from my grad program. Yay, grad school. And I got a really kick-ass job doing trans education, which is kind of this weird thing of things I didn't think I was going to be able to do, didn't think were possible. Now I'm doing it. So that's pretty great. But I have since moved back from the East Coast to the West Coast. So definitely that adjustment has been really new for me, partially in particular because I essentially did the thing where I left the West Coast for a hot second, went to a different place, did, I would say, the bulk of my transitioning somewhere else, and now coming back. And so there is this really weird, I ran into a couple of folks who met me prior to, and they're like, oh, you looked really different. I'm like, yeah, same person, just, I can now grow a beard. So like that has definitely been new, but in general, I've specifically moved back to Northern California, which is super awesome in a lot of ways, just because I have a lot of trans friends and family and community here. So it's not so much where I am right now. There aren't a whole lot of trans folks that I know of, or at least out trans folks, which is fine. But closer to San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, there are like a lot of them, and a lot of them I happen to know, not a lot of them I should say, but I know a couple of them, and it's kind of nice to have that community of folks who have similar experiences to me. Also, it's the Bay Area, so there are more Black and brown folks than there are in Western Mass. I'm not going to throw that kind of shade at you, Western Mass, but definitely your POC population. We're that. So, it's a little bit different. But that's the kind of job transition update. But definitely there are some things that I'm kind of running into now that have to do with my transition as someone who's kind of moved along a little bit, so to speak, and kind of navigating things on the end of things. So first things first. I have been on testosterone now for 2 years and 4 months. In full transparency, I forgot about my 2-year anniversary. Part of that was because I was in the middle of a job interview, actually for this job that I just got, which is kind of ironic. But I was in the middle of a job interview, and so just completely passed by me, and it was definitely something that I was thinking, not so much thinking about the anniversary, but it was more like, oh God, definitely slipped my mind until after the fact, and actually it wasn't until my birthday that I was like, oh, wait a minute, that passed. So yeah, it's been 2 years on testosterone for me. Things that I have absolutely noticed change. First and foremost, I look like my father and my brother. They're kind of just in this weird space. I definitely look like most of the men in my family, which is just a really weird kind of deal, as that's not part of my identity. And so it's definitely they're like, hey, we're going to take a dude's family photo. And they're like, Sai, go. I'm like, oh, all right, I guess I'm doing the dude thing. And that's but it's kind of funny. And in some ways, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it yet, but it's definitely not something that I'm opposed to. If anything, it's just kind of, it's weirdly nice to see the family resemblance, and at the same time also be like, ooh, okay, this means a whole lot of other things. So there's that. Other things, I can grow a decent set of facial hair. The beard I'm trying a thing with the beard. I usually keep myself pretty clean shaven. And I, drove across the country, and I got lazy, and I didn't shave, and then I was just like, well, I'm going to keep not shaving. Let's see where this beard thing takes me. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I can now, this is the facial hair that I can grow, which is kind of cool, just to be able to be like, whoa, I can grow my facial hair. But it does change the way people interact with me now, because now when they hand them my ID, they definitely do in a way that they didn't before, although I will say that if in some places in San Francisco and in Berkeley, there's not that much looking, which I'm just you see a larger number of trans folks navigating the world, but there is still some of that awkward, are you sure this is you? I'm like, yeah, do you want to see all 6 other forms of my IDs? So that part hasn't changed across the board. It's just definitely something that I've kind of noticed in my interactions. My voice, I can't tell that it's dropped. I hear myself talk every day, and I talk for hours. So that's a thing, although some folks have said that it has dropped a little bit more again, which I think is in relationship to me switching the method of testosterone. So back in August, I ran out of my school insurance, which was covering my tea. Androgel is something like a whopping $500 a bottle. I was like, this is not cost affordable. And I switched to injections. So I've been on injections, weekly injections, since August. I would say, yeah, since August, since the first week in August. And so far they're okay. I had to get over my needle phobia, and that's really, really hard. And I still kind of panic just a little bit right before I stab myself. But this week was the first time I did my injection, and it didn't absolutely hurt for multiple days afterwards. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited about that growth. We'll see how long I stay on injections. I know some of that's going to be, I might change it a little bit when I get my new insurance finalized through work, because that's a pain in the ass. But once that happens, I might switch back to Androgel. I might not. We'll see how those things go. But that was definitely a thing that was motivated primarily because of cost, not so much this was necessarily that I wanted to transition this way. I don't like stabbing myself in the leg every week. It's pretty awful, but it's kind of what I can afford right now as I kind of navigate with doing a giant cross-country move. Muscle mass, I had started doing CrossFit prior to me moving, and that was really great for my body. I didn't run into any problems in the CrossFit gym with folks, being like, "Oh, right, you have weird hips and tiny," and everyone was super receptive. In fact, my gym actually made all gender restrooms. So shout outs to Pioneer Valley CrossFit for literally being one of the few places that was super down for having an all gender conversation with folks and being very intentional, being at least receptive to me and my gender identity in regards to pronouns and in regards to what I was looking for and in regards to dealing with the fact that I had just had top surgery. So yeah, I have nothing but love and support, and thanks for all of them. And it was definitely, I was really sad when I had to stop going because I had to move. But all that to say, the muscle mass, I have shoulders now. There's pecs here. I'm kind of working off my little post-grad belly, but it's not super bad. But that kind of does bring me to my top surgery, which I just it's always this really weird moment of me taking off my shirt. So yeah, I did that. So this is my chest. It's not you know what? I actually don't mind it, and actually, to be quite honest, this is almost 11 months post-op, 10 months, so to speak, and it's a lot darker in here than I was. But in general, the scarring that's here is absolutely amazing. I still have some dog ears, but those were there before, and quite frankly, short of me losing weight and doing whatever, those aren't going to go away, and I don't actually mind a whole lot about in regards to visible scarring or whatever. So those are pretty cool. But so far I've got a limited muscle, not all my muscle is starting to come back, which is really great. I can feel right about to here, which is kind of great. And sometimes the nipples shock back on and off in regards to sensation, which is really weird when I'll be standing and talking and I'll be like, oh God, which is just really funny. And anybody who's had a conversation to me, and sometimes when that happens, we kind of just laugh and I'm like, I'm getting my nipples back, which is kind of great. But in general, I can still work out. I can do push-ups again. Push-ups were something that I struggled with, particularly in this area in regards to my pectoral muscle, but this was the side that was bigger, so they had to take more stuff out of here, and so I finally now can start doing push-ups again, which is really great for me, because then I can go back to doing push-ups on the floor, and it would be kind of great. But yeah, I actually went to the beach for my birthday. So other fun updates, I turned 27 this year, and so that was pretty cool. And one of the things that I did was go to the beach, and I took my shirt off at the beach for the first time on my 27th birthday, and that was basically the most. I cried a little bit. People are like, you don't cry on TV? I'm like, no, I cry. I actually cried more now than I did before. So there's that. But yeah, it was just the most beautiful experience to be able to have, and in some ways, and be in my body, and be in a space and just kind of be with myself, and starting that year and the new year of this is my new body, and this is how I'm holding myself as a genderqueer human. So yeah, I know I talk fast. I'm from California. We talk fast, and I'm back home in some ways, so we do that. Did I put? I did not. I thought I put my shirt on inside, but I did not do that. So yeah, those are updates. If folks have any other questions, things they want to talk about, want to ask me about, feel free to write them in. Ask me a question. More than happy to answer them. In some ways, that's my job. Also, just out of curiosity, I keep joking about starting My Life as a Trans Grown-Up podcast. But if folks are interested and are like, yeah, you should absolutely do it, would you listen? Let me know. What are some of the things you want me to talk about, et cetera, et cetera. Hopefully I can, as things get slowed down and I'm no longer in grad school, hopefully I can kind of devote some more time to some of those conversations. So we'll see what's up. All right, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.